Hello again, and this is Marky Mark. Um, so I've been trying to decide what I want to do with videos. Um, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide that I started kind of left off after the jungle, which is probably one of the harder areas to navigate. And now there's a new ladder season, so I kind of want to spend time doing that. As you can see, I'm level 85. And the ladder started Friday and today's Wednesday, so I'm doing pretty good so far. So what I think I decided to do, well, obviously you're no longer a beginner if you are a beginner, because now you're more like a novice, because you've had experience playing the game. You know just how bad lightning and fire damage can be if you don't have resistances. Um, you know that bosses are hard if you don't have a lot of gear and if you're not leveled up high enough. So I guess to start off, we're going to do a little graduation day from beginner to novice. And I'm going to run through, I'm not going to run through normal difficulty. I am going to run through nightmare difficulty for the last, I guess, walkthrough portion of the videos for the beginner's guide. So you can kind of see what to do after the jungle. I will say that in nightmare, my character cannot just, even though my character's level 85, she's not really strong. Um, she's mostly good for killing large clustered together packs of monsters because of the piercing attack with the arrows. Each explosion that pierces through the monsters will explode multiple times when it pierces through lots of targets. As far as bosses go, I think, when I kill the Act 3 boss, continuing in the jungle to show you where to go through the rest of Act 3, and Diablo, yeah, the bosses are not going to die instantly. Even in nightmare mode, it's going to take a little bit. And I'll give you some strategy tips for some bosses, and do the Act 5 walkthrough, which is probably a bit more complicated, just because it's a really long act. So let's get started. Um, all right. So we're going to go to, well, let's just check out the public games right now. This is Ladder Season 14. There's a person here. I just gave them a little bit of gear. They're in hell mode and they're 48. That's way too low for hell mode. If you're at 48, you should be sticking to nightmare, getting some levels in nightmare. There's a couple other games in hell mode. You should get to probably like 60 or 70 to go to the hell mode. They're doing the Diablo quest. I cannot even do that in a multiplayer game. My character is more for soloing. So if they're really weak and I'm really weak, it's going to be really difficult. But I can freeze the monsters. It helps a little bit. But yeah, I can do acts 1, 2, and 3 in hell mode. Somewhat easily on my own. But once it gets, like it's only Wednesday of the ladder season, so not everybody has the greatest gear yet. This one's a trade game. The nightmare games, we got a free roam, and someone wants kill Duriel, please. I guess we could go there. But not gonna go there. We're just gonna do this quick private game. We'll do the rest of the walkthrough for the game, highlight the rest of the quests, and complete the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. And then I guess we'll start doing Novice Guide videos and try to link them together with my Ladder Season 14 with this character. Because, I started with no gear since it's a ladder character. And yeah, I'm coming kind of in the same boat as everybody, other than the fact that the first 3 days of the weekend, I played for like 12 hours each day and got ahead pretty quickly. Not everybody can play 12 hours a day on Memorial Day weekend for the first 3 days of the ladder season, but I got to do that. All right, so let's get Act 3. I do have a Harmony Bow, which gives me a Vigor Aura, so I run really fast, so this shouldn't be that bad. My armor also gives me 65 faster run walk, so we're going to fly through all this. All right, so you already navigated through the jungle, and I believe we left off at the lower Curist. So we're just going to run through, show you how to navigate. And we'll try to do Act 3, 4, and 5. So the waypoint section on the map looks like this in these three areas. The lower Curist, the Curist Bazaar, and the upper Curist. Lower Curist, there's no quests to complete. There's just monsters. If you see this here, this little campfire, you always want to pop these chests here. And which is kind of cool, I ran into that. And this chest here and this weapon rack, apparently they have pretty good, not good drop rates, because nothing has a good drop rate in this game. But out of everything in the game, those are probably the best chests to pop in the game, I think. So you go all the way to the northeast corner, and the entrance to the next zone will be... Oh, we're in normal. I should have done nightmare. I'll switch that before we do the boss. The monsters in here, you know, melee, where's these other guys? Yeah, I'll do some monster highlights real quick. Those guys, they just run around and hit you, most of the guys. I don't see, yeah, I don't see them in this area, but I'll point out, there's one special type of monster I want to point out. So yeah, you follow, the entrance will be hit this guy. Those guys shoot lightning. And they also do blizzard on you, which is pretty annoying. He's immune to cold. Whoops. They also can heal the other monsters. That's especially important later on in the act. Yeah, so there is a waypoint in here. I'm not going to show you where that is. I already got it. I showed you what the waypoint zone looks like. And then I want to find the quest area, because there is a quest you can do. It kind of looks like this big area here, except it's facing a different direction. It's always in the Curist Bazaar, which is weird, because back in the day I thought it was always in the upper Curist, and for some reason I had that confused. Nope. And this here, all the entrances to the sewers look like this. That's an important quest area. This here, it is always facing this direction, and it has the little stair here. You go in here. They're immune to cold. Am I in nightmare? No, I'm in hell mode. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to change that. I cannot go much farther in hell mode past Act 3 and be able to not just run around and without dying. Yeah, my mercenary's dying. Yeah, we're not... Alright. I thought I went into normal difficulty by accident. I wanted to go into nightmare. I'm not gonna... Let's just... Are there more guys here? No, they all ran at me already, I guess. This... Oh, shoot. I can run fast, and that's the only good thing about this character. And like I said, clusters of enemies, my arrows just explode. So every monster that gets hit explodes, and it hits all the monsters surrounding them. So I only do like 1,000 damage, but since all the stuff explodes, it just, when the enemies are packed together. So this is what you want to hit, this little tome thing here. It'll give you the quest item. And we're going to quit the game and go to Nightmare. It'll drop a book called Lam Eason's Tome. And then, I'm not going to fill up my potions, I guess. Then with the Lameson's Tome, you go back to town. And you go over here to Alcor, give them the Lameson's Tome. That'll complete the quest, and you'll get 5 additional stat points for probably strength or vitality or whatever you want to put it in. And then you make your way to the Upper Cuirass, which is the same strategy. It'll be just like going from the Lower Cuirass to the Cuirass Bazaar. The entrance to the Upper Cuirass will also be in the northwest portion of the screen. Waypoints looking the same. And the only thing left in the Cuirass Bazaar and the Upper Cuirass is the entrance to the sewers. So let's go to the Upper Cuirass and find the sewers. There are multiple entrances to the sewers. And like I said, they all look like this, and I got lucky and found one right off the bat. Sewers has 2 levels. I will try to... This place is pretty big. These guys are dangerous. As soon as they die, they explode and do massive damage to you. Fun fact, your mercenary does not take damage from those guys, so let the mercenary kill them. Or your summons or your other characters. Or you kill them at range and they won't explode on you. Those are the most dangerous guys in the game, probably. Especially at higher difficulties. And, you know, these zombies guys, you've seen them before. Let's just see if I can find this entrance to level 2. This place is huge, by the way. I probably should have done this video, or shown navigating this area before I took my little hiatus, because this area can be rather difficult to navigate. So I feel bad for leaving you guys hanging if you were trying to figure out where to go with these videos, maybe. I don't know. I don't have a lot of views on my beginner's guide, so hopefully that'll pick up now that the new patch is out and we got a new ladder season 14. So when you see these bats like this, it's like a unique bat and all those bats, and you see this area, that's the level 2. So you pop this thing here and it opens the stairs. And then in this chest here, right here, it'll pop out Callum's heart. And if you did the other video from doing the jungle, you should have the other 2 parts. See, look how much damage they did to me when they exploded. Just in normal difficulty when I have 900 life. So yeah, that's that portion. And then this quest here, you just have to kill the High Council. And then these 2 quests are linked, because you have to complete Callum's will to open the gate to do the boss, which is the Guardian. So Callum's will, the last thing you need is Callum's flail. And if you make your way from the Upper Cuirass into the Travenskal, the waypoint is always going to be in the exact same location. So we're going to go straight there. If you look at the map, we are in the northwestern portion of the map. I'll run back real quick. It's not that far. If you go this way, and here's the entrance to the Cuirass Causeway. That's a short little path. And the Upper Cuirass, which, like I said, northwest portion of the map will always have the next entrance. And am I a nightmare? I am a nightmare. So the boss fight is going to be a little... Yeah, so I could actually die in Nightmare if those things explode and kill me. So I'm not going to kill these guys because they're going to take a while. Even in Nightmare, I'm not that great. These guys, I can't just one-shot them. Takes a few. See, they heal. These guys heal. The Hydras, these little fire things popping up, you got to be real careful about them because they do a lot of damage to your mercenary and your summons. But yeah, you kill all the council members. There are 3 legend. Well, depends on the difficulty, I guess. One of them will drop Callum's flail. You cube all the pieces, the quest items, the heart, the eye, the brain, and the flail. You use it to smash this, which is the compelling orb, and it'll open the gate with the way to the Endurance of Hate level 1. And then we'll go back to the waypoint. We're going to skip level 1. And my best advice for navigating the Endurance is that it's just... in normal, it's not very big. The map's not very big. It gets progressively bigger in Nightmare and Hell difficulty. I don't really have any advice on navigating that. I know there's probably places you can find online to help navigating it better. But we're going straight to Endurance 2. And, alright, so we got these guys. You may have seen guys similar to that in Act 2. They have a heavy melee hit that does Crushing Blow, which does a large fraction of your life on hit sometimes. It's Nightmare, it's not too bad. My damage is pretty decent. Those guys will explode and kill me if multiple ones explode. So I just got to find level 3, because that's where the boss is. I guess maybe I should have did normal for this so the map would be smaller. This might be it. Yep. Look, or that's level 1 maybe. Nope, level 3. This floor usually has a lot of these guys. And since Act 5 is so long, I think I will do that as my first Novice video. And we'll do Act 4 and complete the beginner's guide, and then we'll go to Act 5 and start my first ultimate Novice guide, I guess we'll call it. Who knows, whatever. Because at this point, if you can beat Diablo, I don't think you're a beginner anymore. There is a council member on this side. And there's a council member on this side. You can either clear both sides, or you can just find the easier way to go to get to the boss. Let's see how many hits the boss takes. The boss is Mephisto. He shoots, he poisons, he shoots lightning, he does Frost Nova, melee attack. My mercenary is slowly killing him. Alright, let's see I'm not hitting him very fast. Even in Nightmare, it takes me a while to kill one of these bosses. Does a little bit of Charge Bolt. Doll Rune, okay. And that thing, I don't think people normally use that bill. And then you go in the portal. That'll take you to Act 4. And then we'll do Act 4 real quick. And then we'll cut the video and go to Act 5. Alright. We'll heal. Alright, so the first 2 areas of Act 4. Well, let's just look at the quests real quick. So when Mephisto drops Mephisto's Soulstone, which is a quest item that you need for the second quest in this Act 4. But it doesn't matter if you drop Mephisto's Soulstone on the ground and lose it, because once you get to the quest area, it'll just magically make a new one, so it's not super important. It's more for the lore and the storyline of the game. But that is the second quest. Hell's Forge, you basically put the Soulstone on the Hell Forge and break it with a hammer. And you'll get some nice runes and gems. I would recommend not doing that in a party game and doing that solo, so you get to keep all the goods. And the first quest is the Fallen Angel. You defeat Izuel, and that'll reward you with two skill points, which is the largest skill point bonus you can get from one quest. So that's super important. And the last quest, of course, is Terra's End, kill Diablo. So let's just make our way to the Plains of Despair, which is where Izuel's at. I'm running out of arrows. Let me buy some arrows. And I guess also before I cut the video, I'll give you some leveling strategies. Okay, so nothing important. These Doom Knights, they're pretty heavy hitters for melee. In Nightmare, they are immune to fire. Immune to fire in Nightmare. Yeah, fire is one of the hardest types to play through the game with. Because in Nightmare, there's just a regular old white monster that's immune to fire in this act. So if you don't have an alternate damage type, these guys are annoying too because they spawn these flesh beasts. Those guys are super annoying, but they're good for me because my arrows explode and just massively damage all of them. So for this area, you're going to want to follow the edge of the map. It always goes in a big circle somewhat, although this map's a little bit funky because it's going in weird directions. Usually it doesn't cut to this side so much. But you want to follow the edge of the map. You can either go around counterclockwise or clockwise. Doesn't really matter. One way or the other, you're going to get lucky. Sometimes it could be all the way on the bottom right, which is, then it really doesn't matter which way you go. Like this, bottom right. And Plains of Despair. Now, probably one of the second hardest enemy in the game, but there are various versions of them. These guys these souls that shoot lightning, they may or may not be in here. There they are. Those guys are probably the second hardest, or one of the top 3 to 5 hardest enemies in the game, I'd say. But yeah, so I'm not going to mess with them. I will say I have maximum to all my resistances, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Slow missiles just for fun though. So the Izuel could be literally anywhere in the middle of the Plains of Despair. And we'll go ahead and study the edge of the map while we're at it, because that's just going to be like the last zone where the entrance to the next area is in that, like that. I mean, honestly, I could kill some of these monsters, because there are some really good items you could find in Nightmare that are used in Hell difficulty, by the way. Some items are just universally good no matter which difficulty you're on. There's Izuel. See how many hits he takes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yep. And then when he dies, his soul will stay behind. You have to talk to his soul before you can go back to town and talk to the angel to complete the quest and get your reward. And as soon as you talk to Izuel, he'll fade away. And then we're going to find the edge of the map. I guess it is kind of cool that I went back and got all the waypoints yesterday, so I can actually do this run through real quick. I just OCD about the waypoints. So then here's the entrance, City of the Damned. And so for the City of the Damned, the next notable area It's going to be somewhere in the middle somewhere. It's going to look like this. It's going to have the waypoint right next to the next area, River of Flame. And the River of Flame, a lot easier to navigate. It's just a big path. Sometimes it'll branch left, it'll branch right. This is where you're going to find the forge, the Hell Forge. Not this area. This looks like a dead end slash. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. It looks like that. It's got a big stairwell and it goes up here like this. Very similar to that. And you've also got to fight a mini boss, Hephasto, I think. Or no, what's that his name? Hephasto? Ow. Maybe over here. Hephasto's over here. Nope, dead end. Yeah, we'll give you some leveling tips and some other advice before I end this video. I guess those will be the final tips as a beginner that I give you. Alright, so there's the waypoint. So we missed Hephasto. I think it's Hephasto. Yeah, because the guy in Act 1 looks the same, or he looks very similar, but he's called the Smith. I think. The Smith and Hephasto, I think. I do want to end the video soon. I wonder how much space I have on my phone. How many videos I can shoot. Probably like 3. This will be the first one. Then I'll finish up. There we go. Hephasto. Oh, he's actually taking some hits. Looks like he's spectral hit R enchanted. So when you kill him, he'll drop the hammer, the Hellforge hammer. Then you come up here, smash that with the Hellforge hammer. You have to equip. Oh, by the way, same thing in Act 3. You have to actually equip the weapon and strike the compelling orb in this thing for the quest. I will be careful when you equip it because you don't want to lose your gear in your inventory, have it drop on the ground for some weird reason. So be careful with that. And then, yeah, that'll complete that. And then now for Diablo. And always pick up rejuvies, stash them in your stash. You can transmute them to make a full rejuvie. You want as many rejuvies and full rejuvies as you can get. That's the way to survive when you get smashed really hard. And you need a quick auto full heal. Alright, so River of Flame leads to the Chaos Sanctuary. Oh, not that way, it's a dead end. And I will say that my particular build is just not strong. I built this build for a particular reason that I don't want to talk about yet. Basically, I found a budget way to farm tier 5 heralds with a certain equipment and stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of farm tier 5 heralds, not quickly, but I will be farming them. Try to get some of those new Sunder charms. So my character's not designed to do certain things. My character is designed to be super fast though, without teleporting, which is kind of cool. So your Chaos Sanctuary, the map is always the exact same, I believe. Well, not the exact same. Very, very, very close. The opening, you always go this way. This is where Diablo will spawn, but you have to pop the seals to make that happen. There are 2 seals over here. All you have to do is kill the seal boss, which is that guy. And you don't really have to kill everything, but and that looks like Saigon's Greaves. I'm not going to pick that up. I already have a set. All right, sure, I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll just give it to somebody. Oh, that's that one. Hey, that's not terrible. All right, maybe we'll actually get a nice drop off Diablo. Let me summon a Valkyrie. All right. There's only 1 seal in this direction. These guys have fanaticism. Be extra careful. And then the last 2 seals are down here. 5 seals in total. All right, let's line them up because we got Pierce. We want to line the enemies up for the Pierce stack. All right. And pop the last seal and everything dies. And then Diablo will come out. I will say that, well, I won't say that right now. But let's just kill Diablo, and then I'll do the last few beginner tips, and then we'll go to the Ultimate Novice Guide. So he does a little fire. This thing here, that red lightning thing that comes out, don't ever stand in that. That will kill you real quick. I believe it's fire and lightning damage. And this thing, don't stand in that. He can also put you in a bone prison. And if you get flame wave, if you get close enough, he can use a chilling attack on you. Yeah, let's just stand here. So he's dead. Got a rage mask. One magic find. Come on now. I'll take the circlet and the rage mask. All right. Final tips. Well, okay, so obviously you talk to Tyrael after you kill Diablo. He'll open a red portal that goes to Haragoth. Otherwise, I think you have to go in the portal to open up Haragoth. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe if you start a new game, if you didn't go in the portal, you can go in the portal again. was going to sell those. They don't have a lot of resistance on them. I will say that boots like this are pretty good if they have 30 faster run walk, and they've got like, 25 to 30 of 2 different resistances. Those are good boots to keep. Those are a little bit low on those numbers. It's 15 cold and poison resistance. Usually healing kind of gets around poison resistance. Poison resistance is probably the least useful resistance you can have for most characters, I guess. It can still do a lot of damage to you, but all right, I will repair. All right, let me put this stuff in the box, and then I'll give my closing tips. All right. So it is very easy to pop into public games and get rushed past where you are at in the game, and like this person that was in hell mode at level 48. Are they still there? No. But let's just look at these levels for hell mode. 66. That's not too terribly low for hell mode, but I wouldn't try hell mode at 66 probably. 58. That's super low for hell mode. So if you look at this game, perfect. This game's here. Normal game called Tombs. Level 20 Amazon. If you do get rushed in Act 1, the best thing to do is to do like Tristram runs to get to like level 20 or so. Then once you're to level 20, you want to go into tomb games and kill the 7 tombs where Duriel's at. Get to about 25 plus. And then once you're 25 plus, you can graduate over and do Diablo games to level up to like, I don't know, 30 or so. And then, once you're high enough level that when you do bail games, you can actually level up. So the thing about leveling is that if the monster is way higher level than you when it dies, it doesn't give you barely any experience. So you can't really kill high level monsters and get a lot of experience. Now, I will say that if you're level 1 and you go into a hell game and kill one monster, you'll probably level up. But if you're like level 15 and you're trying to do Diablo games, you're probably not going to get a lot of experience. So it's more important in normal difficulty as far as leveling goes. Once you make it to Nightmare, the leveling process is a bit easier. You can still use the same process for doing Tomb games when you're in Act 2, Tristram when you're in Act 1, Diablo when you're in Act 4, and Baal when you're in Act 5 to level up. Act 3, you don't really usually get a lot of levels in Act 3 in normal difficulty. In Nightmare, there's really no good place to run through and level up. But I just want to point that out because it looks like there's that level 48 character in hell mode. That character, it'd probably be good advice to go back to Nightmare. And, well, unfortunately, there are no Nightmare games for, like, at level 48, if you went into a Nightmare game and just did Baal a bunch of times, you could get to, like, level... what's the level of the other character in the game? 66. Yeah, you could go from 48 to 66 by doing Nightmare Baal games. But like I said, right now there are no Nightmare Baal games. So I guess, you know, what else you're going to do unless you start one of your own and people join. But that's for if you're trying to level up quickly, if you're just, you know, clearing the game by yourself or with friends or on your Nintendo Switch with other people that you know, you can just take your good old time and find loot and just go through the game like normal. But if you are playing online with random people, just be aware that you might get farther into the game and think you can level up, but it might be difficult unless you go to certain areas where you're appropriately leveled. And final note, so when you go to nightmare mode, all of your resistances will drop. So if you have 75 resistance and normal and you go to nightmare, your resistances are going to go down. And right now in nightmare, I have max resistances. Then when you go to hell, they drop even more. So as you can see right now, my fire resistance is only 35, which is really low for hell mode. This is one of the reasons why I can't go that far into hell mode and kill monsters in hell mode. Like I don't really want to go into Act 4 and 5 at all right now, just because of all the ranged attackers. They shoot fire arrows, fireballs, all kinds of stuff. So what I've been doing, and this is a nifty little trick. Well, I'll worry about that later. But there is an area that I am well suited for doing. There's a few areas. I can run really fast. Yes, I just go to the Tomo Highland. And go in this area. And this is an area in Act 1 Hell that is a level 85 area. So any item level 85 or less can drop. And if you kill a champion or unique, they can drop level 86 and level 87 items. And from what I understand, that's pretty much any item in the game can drop in here. So I've been going in this area a lot. I'm not going to do that right now. But depending on your goal, if you're trying to do like a ladder character or just level up and find new gear, you kind of want to play towards your character. There are certain areas that your character will be good at. And terror zones are also always nice because terror zones go all over the place. So different terror zones are good for different characters. Having said that, once you beat normal difficulty, you will be able to do normal terror zones, which is kind of nice. All right, so without further ado, we'll go to the Act 5 video. I will end this video, and thanks for watching, and this was Marky Mark.